Trump's potential reversal comes as his Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, is defending the administration's financial planning, today giving a keynote speech at the UN's International Monetary Fund, which just yesterday downgraded its forecast of world economic growth, due in large part to President Trump's tariffs. Here's some of what he said earlier.
China needs to change. The country knows it needs to change. Everyone knows it needs to change. And we want to help it change because we need rebalancing too. China can start by moving its economy away from export overcapacity and towards supporting its own consumers and domestic demand.
Well, the markets are responding and responding well. As you can see today, all three major indices are up. They are up more than 2%, but still a very long way to go before investors recoup the losses from recent weeks. Let's bring in NewsNation's Kelly Meyer live for us there outside of the White House. So, Kelly, what is the latest on this?
Yeah, President Trump saying that many people are coming to the table to make a deal. We know around 100 countries, they've said, are trying to work with the administration on a potential deal on these tariffs. They said around 18 deals are currently on the table. And it's been 3 weeks since he announced those tariffs and 2 weeks since he announced that 90-day pause on those tariffs. The one country that we are really watching for today is China. And the president commenting on where those talks stand a short time ago. Take a listen to this.
Fair deal with China. It's going to be fair.
Are you talking to them actively now?
Active. Everything's active. Everybody wants to be a part of what we're doing. They know that they can't get away with it any longer, but they're still going to do fine. And we're going to have a country that you can be proud of, not a laughing stock all over the world for many years.
Now, President Trump seemingly softening his tone on China, saying that 145% tariff is high and that he suggested they would be nicer to China. He said that he has a great relationship with China's President Xi Jinping and that he suggested they could make a deal. He also said that if the U.S. doesn't make a deal with China, he will set the deal if China doesn't make it. In response to that, China's spokesperson said the U.S. should, quote, stop threatening and blackmailing China, but, quote, seek dialogue based on equality, respect, and in mutual respect. Now, Secretary Bessent, the Treasury Secretary for President Trump, said China needs to change. Take a listen to this.
China needs to change. The country knows it needs to change. Everyone knows it needs to change, and we want to help it change because we need rebalancing too. China can start by moving its economy away from export overcapacity and towards supporting its own consumers and domestic demand. Such a shift would help with global rebalancing.
Now, here's a new poll we were checking out today. 37% of Americans approve of President Trump's handling of the economy. That's down 5 points since he returned to office earlier this year. Then nearly 75% of adults say they are worried about a recession. Half of the respondents say President Trump's retooling of the economy is, quote, too erratic, and that includes 1 in 4 Republicans. 2/3 of Americans worried about the impact of his trade war on the stock market. But it does seem like the president is softening his tone on China as he says that he expects the two will make a deal. We don't know the timing of that and whether he has spoken to President Xi himself. Nichole.
All right, so Kelly, speaking of this softening tone, the president also softening his stance on Fed Chair Jerome Powell.
Yeah, and we saw the reaction to that in the markets as he said that he wasn't going to fire Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chair. It's someone that he appointed to the position back in his first term. I had previously asked him in the Oval not too long ago if he regretted that nomination. He said he thought he was terrible, but they had a great first 4 years. He said now in his latest comments that he had no intention of firing him, but there are questions today on whether that came from some of those around him, if they advised him to soften his tone on Jerome Powell because of the impact it was having on the stock market. Take a listen to this from President Trump in the Oval.
I have no intention of firing him. I would like to see him be a little more active in terms of his idea to lower interest rates. This is a perfect time to lower interest rates. If he doesn't, is it the end? No, it's not, but it would be good timing.
So what we're watching for next is what deals come onto the table and what is signed. We're looking at potentially India and Japan. Maybe those will come together before the end of the week. And of course, all eyes on China. What happens next in those talks and negotiations? Nichole.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.